Minister of Higher Education and Technology, Nzimande, is to brief the media after he met with the management of the University of Zululand. Students embarked on a violent protest last week, demanding safety measures on and off campus and residences. Our reporter Sbongakonke Mbatha is there. Let's cross live to her. Very good morning to you, Sbongakonke. What time is the media briefing expected to start?
A very good morning to you, Desiree. In the next 20 minutes, the Minister of Higher Education and Training is, of course, expected to brief the media on the outcomes of the meeting with the University of Zululand Council in terms of the decisions that they've taken with regards to the remaining issue of safety and security. And like you mentioned, Desiree, that last week we saw a week-long activity of protest, violent protest by the University of Zululand students who were saying enough is enough. They have lived in fear for far too long, and then at that time they were demanding the immediate response from the Minister of Police, who eventually came on Thursday to address the issue around safety and security as far as the police in the area are concerned. Of course, Desiree, we did witness on Tuesday morning that a satellite station was allegedly torched by the students, so that's why the minister had to come and intervene, further telling them that if they continue to burn down the little resources that they have, they're going to have to wait for quite some time. And this is a national message that he continues to give across the country, where there's protest action and resources being affected in the process, especially police stations, telling them that it's unfortunate, but they should not expect an immediate police station to resurface or made a plan anytime soon. With regards to the issue of safety and security, he did also meet up with Inkosi Mkhwanazi, which is the traditional leadership in which the university is built on. So even the Minister of Higher Education was expected to be a part of that meeting on Thursday, but unfortunately he could not come. And then on Friday, that's the time where he met up with the University of Zululand Council to further discuss the matter and find lasting solutions in as far as the university is concerned, because even from the Minister of Police, it did highlight that there is a problem in this university where you find people coming in and out. There doesn't seem to be proper security management per se in terms of who has access within the university and who doesn't. In as far as the off-resident campus security is concerned, which is affecting a majority of the students, because 70% of the University of Zululand students live off campus. The university had highlighted with the media that they did try to engage landlords who owned these accommodations, and they were not willing to come into the party and hold discussions and find a way forward, because the university was worried that it limits their reach in terms of off-campus security, because these people who are responsible for the accommodation are not willing to come and assist them, because they can't stretch themselves, because it is not their property. So if they come into the party and they speak to the university, they can engage the university and find minimum standards that need to be reached in order for the university to intervene as far as safety and security is concerned. But we are expecting the Minister, Desiree, to come in and address us and tell us the outcomes that they have concluded on with the university in terms of the university's responsibility in the matter. And of course, we are expecting him to also give us an update in terms of the investigation on the student that passed away at DUT, Sandile Ndlovu, who eventually gave in to his injuries after he was attacked 2 weeks ago on campus. It is a very interesting story, Desiree, because there's a lot of questions as to how was the student attacked within the school premises and no one saw a thing, and how did security allow students to come into the institution carrying harmful knives or whatever they used to attack the students. So those are all the questions that we are hoping the minister has managed to find out, as well as where are they as a university in conjunction with the Higher Education Ministry in terms of investigating this matter, because eventually the student has passed away. Even his family are looking for answers. Desiree?
Sbongakonke, away from the minister's visit, do you know if there are any community conversations about the scourge of criminals making the education grounds, they are sourcing grounds for their criminal activities?
Last week, when we were within the area of KwaZulu-Natal, outside the University of Zululand, we did manage to engage informally the community members in terms of their views on the matter. And then they were saying that it is unfortunate because we are mothers, we are fathers, and we are witnessing our children being prone or being preyed on in terms of crime, because the area is crime-ridden. And then now there is this institution where 17,000 students occupy this institution, and 70% of them are not safe because they live off campus. So the issue of safety and security, even the community is feeling the burden, because they are parents of the same students who go into these universities, not just the University of Zululand, even the University of KwaZulu-Natal, as well as the University of Technology, DUT. They did raise concerns. Even the family of the late student, they did raise concerns as to, they sent their child to the university. They're coming all the way from Mpumalanga, and they couldn't really understand as to why is their son having fallen to such criminality in the premises of the institution, because they send their children with the understanding that they are handing them over into the hands of the institution where they are kept safe and while still on campus. And to have such incidents where institutions of higher learning are no longer safe, it raises a lot of questions, Desiree, and it raises an opportunity for a debate where people can engage and question how can it be resolved. And we're hoping to find some of those answers from the Minister of Higher Education and Training, Mr. Nzimande, during the briefing in the next 15 minutes.
Absolutely. The fact that the minister is coming through today is very encouraging, in that it shows that he takes the matter seriously. But this is not a new conversation, is it?
Definitely, Desiree, it's not a new conversation. For the University of Zululand alone, the issue of crime and having known criminals prey on students goes back into the 90s, late 80s. Even 10 years ago, it did take flight where students embarked on a similar protest. Even last year, the students embarked on a similar protest and did manage to get in conversation with the Minister of Police last year around the same time. And then this year, he came back again because it continues to persist. So they're saying that their plight continues to fall on deaf ears, and they are not the only institution that is engulfed by a crime. So it really opens up an opportunity or room for discussion around safety and security concerns in our institutions as a country.
Sbongakonke, let's release you because the briefing starts anytime now. Thank you so much for that update.